Okay. In the last session, we discussed uh, good features related to the RDBMS. Okay. So next point, the most important point from database, which is called as a normalization. Okay. So normalization and why it is needed. If we are going to store a data in a tabular format for a RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, as we know that in RDBMS, we are going to store a data in a table structure or in a table format. Okay. But when we store that particular data, either that data or that table correlate with the different tables also, or might be
Okay. So when we store a data in a tabular format, then there might be chances that table is correlate with the different tables. In that particular table, one or more columns, those are act as the primary key, candidate key, super key, foreign key. Those might be repeated over there. That means data is repeated. And then we can store a data with different types of attribute also. Okay, so single valued attribute, multi-valued attribute, then composite attribute over there. If we are going to suppose the multi-valued attribute, then the one suppose for example one student with two mobile numbers, so that means we are going to insert two separate rows over there. Okay, so uh, this type of an information or this type of an data repetition is chances there. Okay, so the next point which is related to the RDBMS or relational database management system, which is known as a normalization. Okay, so first of all we will see the definition and then I will explain that. So normalization, it is the process of minimizing redundancy from relation. So here redundancy which is related to the data. Okay, so normalization is the process of minimizing redundancy from a relation. So that redundancy in a relation, it causes with insertion operation, deletion operation, and updation operation irregularity. That means when we perform the operations related insertion, deletion, and updations, then that redundancy in a relation might be happen. Okay, so redundancy of a data, we have to minimize that. Okay, so if there is a redundancy of a data in a particular relation, here relation it stands for a table. Okay, so if there is any redundancy of a data in a relation, then we have to minimize that. No doubt, we cannot remove all redundancy. Okay, but we can minimize that redundancy. So the process where we are minimizing the redundancy of a data from table or relation, that process which is known as a normalization. Okay, so when that redundancy is occur, okay, so when we perform three operations, insert operation, delete operation, and update operations, so with the help of an that three operation irregularities, so redundancy of data in a particular relation might be happen. Okay, so normalization is also called as a normal form. So normal forms are used to eliminate or reduce redundancy from database table, okay, or database relation. So redundancy is nothing but we have to minimize the redundancy data from a particular table or relation. That process is known as a normalization. When it happens when with three operations: insertion operation, deletion operation, and third one the updation operation. Okay, so I will explain with example how that redundancy is occur with the help of an three basic operations: insertion, deletion, and updation. Just remind the proper definition for normalization. Normalization is a process of minimizing redundancy from relation. Redundancy in a relation is happened with irregularities of three operations: insertion, updation, and deletion. Okay, so this is a process which is called as a normalization. So why it is needed? Why we have to normalize the data? Okay, so with respect to this, suppose this is a one database which is related to the employee. Okay, in that there are four columns: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and employee department. Okay, so this is related to the employee database table. In that there are four attributes: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and then next one the employee department. Okay, so among from that, the employee ID as well as the employee name, when we assign any person with any employee ID, might be there is a possibility with who work or who correlate with the different departments also. Okay, so for example, suppose in this database, the employee name Arun having an employee ID 101 is there. Okay, so Arun is an employee name having employee ID is a 101, employee address is a Delhi, and he correlate with two departments. First one D001 and D002. So one employee correlate with the two entities or two departments. So D01 and D02. Okay. So here 101 Arun and employee address, it is a single entity over there for that particular attribute. But for department attribute, there are two entries. One which is associated with D001 and one which is associated with D002. Okay. So at this case, suppose first we will see insertion operation. At this stage, suppose now I want to no insertion, updation operation first of all. Suppose I want to update the employee address for Arun. Okay, I want to perform update operation in this database related to the employee name Arun. If I want to update a particular employee address for Arun, then I have to update for two entries. One which is related to the D001 and one which is related to the D002. Okay, that means for both D001 and D002, the same data which is replicated for both one. Okay, so that means suppose I want to update the Arun employee address as a Pune. Okay, so first of all is a Delhi and then I want to update it as a Pune over there. Okay, but suppose only one operation I perform here for D001. That means for D001 data, the employee address of Arun is at Pune, but I will not perform right now updation operation for D002 as a Pune. Okay, with Delhi address, but which is then for single employee. Okay, so here data redundancy is occurs perform update operations. How it will remove? We have to do two time updation operations, one for D001 and one for D002. Okay, so this we can say that updation irregularities when we perform the update operation on a particular data set. Okay, so so I repeat, it is related to the deletion operation. Suppose if any employee leaving that particular organization, then the user must perform two times delete operations, one which is related to the D001 and one which is related to the D002. Okay, so this data redundancy irregularities happen at the time of an deletion operation also. This is a one example. We can map with the different examples also. Okay, so the next one, third operation is related to the insertion operation. Third operation, it's related to the insertion operation. Suppose we want to add a new employee data. Okay, we want to add a new employee data which is related to the suppose Snehal. Okay, so I want to add the new employee data for Snehal. Employee ID is assigned, then employee name is Snehal, employee address is suppose Pune, but Snehal is joining as a trainee over there. Snehal is joining as a trainee over there. That means no department is assigned right now. Okay. After completion of training, the department which is assigned by the organization to the Snehal. But right now, Snehal is a part of employee or organization, but acting as a trainee over there. So no department is assigned to them. Okay, no department is assigned to her. So that time we cannot leave department as a null over there. We cannot leave department as a null over there. Okay, but we have to add that employee details. But we cannot leave that record as a null for department. Okay, so that time we can say that again insertion data redundancy is there. Okay, when we perform insertion operations related to the add record Snehal, then that time we can say that insertion data redundancy is there. Okay. To avoid this type of situations, we have to apply normalization method. Okay, we have to apply normalization method. So before applying normalization method, there is one concept which is related to the attribute relations, which is known as a functional dependency. Okay, the one concept which is related to this functional dependency. Okay, so after this functional dependency, we will see how normalization is done with particular data. Okay, so functional dependency, it is a prerequisite which is required for normalization method. Okay, so functional dependency is a relation that exists between two attributes. So functional dependency is a mathematical relation or mathematical phenomena which is used to maintain relationship between two attributes. Relationship between the two attributes. So it is a mathematical phenomena. With the help of that mathematical phenomena, we can maintain or we can define the relationship between two or more attributes over there. Okay, so that process or that phenomena which is known as a functional dependency. Proper definition for this functional dependency is a relationship that exists between two attributes. A particular relationship that exists between the two attributes, that process or that phenomena which is known as a functional dependency. It typically exists between the primary key and non-key attribute. It basically exists between the primary key and non-primary key attributes over there from table. For example, suppose there is a database TE computer. In that there are three columns: roll number, name, and age of particular student. Okay, so in that roll number is a primary key and non-primary keys attributes are name and age. That means the name and age attribute values, those are correlate with the primary key roll number. Okay, so the relationship exists between this. We have to maintain with the primary key along with non-primary key. Okay, primary key along with the non-primary key. Okay, so in this it is maintained with mathematical notation x implies y. Okay, x implies y. So here we can call it as a x functional dependent y. X functional dependent y. So here functional dependency is maintained with the help of an arrow over there. So it is called as a determinant. Okay, it is called as a determinant. X determinant y and y functionally dependent on x. Y functionally dependent on X. For example, same example, suppose I want to find a Snehal from T computer class. Okay, but there are 2 or 3 Snehals, those are present. So how can I identify that? So Snehal is a Y attribute over there. Now we have to find out which Snehal a particular that I am searching for her. Okay, so depends on the roll number I can search. So as a roll number, that attribute is a primary key, so it is a X factor. So roll number, determinant, name. Here name is dependent, functional dependent on a roll number. That means suppose I want to search a particular Snehal student, then I must know the roll number of that Snehal. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? 2 or 3 Snehals give me response. Yes, ma'am. So it will not happen. So at that time, I want to know or I must know the roll number of that particular snail. So we can say that the roll number, determinant, name is a functionally dependent on a roll number. So always left side is considered as a primary key, right side those are considered as a non-primary keys. Left side those considered as a X is considered as a primary key, Y is considered as a here non-primary key. Okay, so assume that another example, assume that employee table with attribute employee ID, employee name and employee address. Here employee ID attribute uniquely identify the name as well as the address over there. Okay, so that means we can say that the functional dependency, the functional dependency for this employee ID, determinant, employee name. So depends on the employee name. If we know the employee ID, then we can identify a particular employee or employee name. Okay. So employee ID is a primary key. Employee name is a non-primary key. So we can map or functional dependency we can written as a employee ID, determinant, arrow, and then employee name. Okay, so this is functional dependency. Okay. The next point, there are 2 types of functional dependency. There are 2 types of functional dependency, trivial functional dependency and non-trivial functional dependency. Okay, so there are 2 types of functional dependency, one which is related to the trivial functional dependency, another which is related to the non-trivial functional dependency. Among from that first one, trivial functional dependency. If A implies B has trivial functional dependency, then if B is a subset of A, B is a subset of A. Suppose there are 2 attributes from a single table, then we can say that A is trivial dependent on B when we can say that if B is a subset of A. If B is a subset of A and that trivial functional dependency is maintained by A implies A, B implies B. A implies A, B implies B. For example, same in employee there are 2 columns, employee ID and employee name. Among from that, employee ID is a primary key. Okay, then we can say that trivial functional dependency, employee ID implies employee ID, employee name implies employee name. So this type of an functional dependency which is known as a trivial functional dependency. Just right now remember that how it is maintained. Okay, how we are coding the database, it is another part. Just remember definitions related to this. What is by trivial? A implies A, B implies B, which is known as a trivial functional dependency. Okay, and non-trivial functional dependency means what? If A implies B, then B is not a subset of A. B is not subset of A. Then we can say that, suppose ID implies name, name implies database. For example, date of birth. Okay. For TE computer class, suppose there are 3 attributes: roll number, name, and age. Okay. Among from that, the roll number mapped with name, name mapped with age. Okay. So this type of an dependency which is known as a non-trivial. Okay. If same attribute mapped with the itself, then which is trivial. If it mapped with the another attributes, which is known as a non-trivial attribute, non-trivial dependency. Okay, so this is related to the functional dependency. Next session we will be normalization.